common dietary mistakes, and how to fix them. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, at my age, all I need to do is drink a glass of milk each day, and my bones will be fine? I've met so many people, even close friends, who live with that belief. And for years, they just drift along with it. But today, let's take an honest, gentle look at a few extremes in eating habits. Those beliefs that feel right, but quietly drain the life out of our bones. Mistake 1. Believing milk alone is enough. Milk is a friend to our bones. Yes, but if we depend on it completely, we miss the bigger picture of nutrition. Research shows milk can support bone density in children and young adults. But for older adults, the benefits depend heavily on vitamin D and overall absorption. I recall a patient who drank milk faithfully every morning, and yet, after a minor fall, she fractured her wrist. Tests revealed she was deficient in vitamin D and protein. It's like trying to build a house with bricks, but no mortar. Milk was only part of the story, not the whole. Mistake 2. Ignoring absorption issues. Many healthy foods, spinach, beans, whole grains contain compounds like oxalates or phytates, which can block calcium absorption. That doesn't mean you should avoid them, but it does mean preparation matters. Soaking, cooking thoroughly, or pairing them with other calcium-rich foods can reduce this effect. One patient told me she started having her leafy greens with milk instead of coffee. A tiny switch, but it made calcium easier for her body to absorb, like softening a leaf in warm water before you eat it suddenly. It goes down much easier. Mistake 3. Skipping breakfast or eating too late at night. A large Japanese study, following nearly 1 million people over 6 years, found that those who skipped breakfast more than 3 times a week had an 18% higher risk of fractures, and eating late dinners within 2 hours of bedtime raised fracture risk by about 8%. Think of it this way. When you skip breakfast, you're starving your bones of nutrients they need during the day. And when you eat too late, your digestion and stress hormones are disrupted, which can interfere with bone repair at night. I remember a patient telling me, I only eat breakfast if I wake up early. But I stay up late watching TV and usually snack before bed. Over time, without realizing it, his bones grew weaker. A question to pause with. Have you ever brushed off a meal, thinking your bones don't really need it right now? The truth is, bones don't wait. They break down at the very moment we neglect them. The gentle lesson. Caring for your bones is like tending a garden. You can't water it once and walk away. You need steady care watering at the right times, feeding the soil, making sure it gets enough light. In the same way, small, consistent habits, eating breakfast, balancing nutrients, preparing foods properly are the roots of lifelong strength. And next, we'll explore movement, the quiet but powerful partner in rebuilding your bones. Because a good diet alone isn't enough. The construction site of your body also needs the daily spark of motion to come alive. The role of movement, more than just eating well. Have you ever thought that strong bones come only from good nutrition? I used to believe that too until a patient once told me, Doctor, I take my calcium and vitamin D every day, but I'm still afraid to walk too far. My legs feel weak, and that's when it struck me. Nutrients are like the bricks, but movement is the builder, the worker, who breathes life back into the structure of our bones. How bones respond, movement as an invitation. Experts like Dr. Vonda Wright remind us that bones aren't fixed or static. They are living tissue, constantly adapting to the pressure we place upon them. When you bounce lightly on your feet, your bones hear the message. It's time to lay down another layer. From jumping rope to brisk walking to dancing, every light impact tells your bones that a stronger foundation is needed. When muscles pull strength from within, bones don't just respond to impact. They also respond when muscles tug against them. Light hand weights, squats, or even a plank. All of these create a pull that osteoblasts, the bone-building cells, cannot ignore. One study found that combining resistance training with simple bodyweight exercises increased bone density far more effectively than diet alone. The message is clear. Food fuels the builders, but movement wakes them up. Balance, not just posture, but survival. Balance exercises standing on one foot, stepping side to side, or practicing Tai Chi don't just look graceful. They protect your spine, improve stability, and lower your risk of falls and fractures. Tai Chi, in particular, has been shown to strengthen bone density in the lumbar spine and hip when practiced consistently for at least 6 months. Gentle, almost meditative. yet it becomes a powerful medicine for aging bones. A quiet story to reflect on. Take Tom, a 68-year-old man who fractured his leg after a small stumble at home. Afterward, he started a simple routine, standing on one leg while brushing his teeth. Just that. Weeks later, he told me, "My knees and ankles feel steadier, my balance is sharper, and I feel more confident." What he was really doing was training his bones with small, steady movements that spoke louder than any supplement. A gentle question. Did you know that even a slow step or a small twist could be the most loving reminder to bones that are silently thinning away? The question is, are you willing to give yourself those few precious minutes of movement each day? The quiet lesson. Movement is a daily promise. I am still strong, and I will continue to be strong. Don't see exercise as a duty. See it as a gift you give yourself. Every step, every gentle twist is your way of affirming that your bones are still here steady, resilient, and worthy of your care today. And in the next part, we'll look at the lifestyle choices that slowly wear bones down: smoking, inactivity, poor sleep, and how, step by step, we can turn those habits into choices that honor and protect our bones. Lifestyle risks. Alcohol, smoking, disordered eating, and obesity. In life, we often think we're doing enough, eating fairly well, exercising a little, but at the same time, we overlook those small but deadly habits: alcohol, smoking, disrupted eating patterns, or weight that slips beyond control. These things may seem ordinary, but quietly, they erode bone strength like unseen hands chipping away at the stones of a sturdy bridge. Alcohol. Even a little leaves its mark. A glass of wine at night can feel relaxing, but too much alcohol has a serious impact on bone. Alcohol increases the activity of osteoclasts, the cells that tear bone down, and once they speed up, rebuilding can't keep pace. The International Osteoporosis Foundation reports that people who drink more than 3 units of alcohol a day have a 23% higher risk of fractures and a 68% higher risk of hip fracture, compared with those who drink moderately or not at all. Even what feels like a little adds up over time. Smoking, a small habit with a heavy cost. Cigarette smoke doesn't just damage the lungs, it also makes bones more brittle. Studies show smoking reduces the work of osteoblasts, the builders of bone, interferes with calcium absorption, and increases fracture risk, especially in postmenopausal women. I remember one patient who told me I could never bring myself to quit. But after I fractured my hip, I realized I couldn't ignore it anymore. For her, the break was the wake-up call that a small habit had silently weakened her bones beyond recovery. Disordered eating and obesity. More than body weight. We often think of obesity as a risk for heart disease or diabetes, but low body weight is equally dangerous for bones. People with a BMI under 20 have significantly less bone mass and nearly double the risk of hip fracture compared to those with a BMI around 25. On the other hand, being severely obese with a BMI over 40 doesn't protect you either. Even though bone density may appear higher, bone quality is often poorer, making fractures more likely. Here in America, over 40% of adults are obese, and nearly 73% are overweight or obese combined. That means many of us are living on a thin line, too light, and bones don't have enough material to build. Too heavy, and the bones collapse under the pressure. A gentle question to pause with. Have you ever thought about how something as small as a nightly drink, a few puffs of smoke, or skipping balanced meals might be weakening your bones day by day? And if so, are you ready to begin healing through the small choices? The quiet lesson. Your bones don't ask for grand gestures. They ask for respect today. One less cigarette, one less drink, skipping the fast food, and choosing real nourishment. Adjusting your weight a little closer to balance. Each small action is like placing one stone back into the foundation of your bridge. And in the next part, we'll take a look at comprehensive bone care from everyday habits to medical screenings and treatment options, so you can create a full journey toward lifelong strength and resilience. Comprehensive prevention methods. You see, bone health is never just about food or taking the occasional supplement. It's about learning how to check in, to heal, and to take charge of the long journey. So let's take a look at some of the most comprehensive ways to prevent osteoporosis, not just through diet, but through screening, therapy, exercise, and even the environment you live in. 1. DEXA screening. When should you check your bones? You may not know this, but a DEXA scan is the gold standard for measuring bone density. It gives you a real map of your bone's spine, hips, wrists, in the U. It's recommended for women age 65 and older, and men age 70 and older. And if you've had a fracture after 50, you should get tested earlier. I remember Karen, a 68-year-old patient. She felt fine, no pain, but decided to get a scan just for peace of mind. The results showed osteopenia, the stage before osteoporosis. Because she caught it early, she was able to change her habits before a major fracture ever happened. Sometimes, one small step of looking at the roots is the most powerful form of prevention. 2. Menopause hormone therapy. MHT pros and cons. Estrogen has always been a loyal friend to bones. After menopause, estrogen drops sharply, and bones weaken quickly. Hormone therapy can help restore part of that balance, lowering osteoclast activity and preserving density. In fact, it can reduce fracture risk by 20 to 30%, but it's not for everyone. Risks include breast cancer, blood clots, and stroke. That's why MHT is usually considered for women under 60, within 10 years of menopause, or those with severe symptoms. It's never a one-size-fits-all solution. It requires an honest conversation with your doctor about both risks and benefits. 3. Advanced interventions. Osteogenic loading. Physical therapy. Fall prevention. Osteogenic loading. Short bursts of high-impact activity, like light jumps or quick foot strikes that directly stimulate bone to grow denser. Physical therapy helps restore posture, balance, and muscle strength after fractures. It's like laying down fresh beams to rebuild the framework of your house. Fall prevention. Sometimes as simple as decluttering the home, adding brighter lights, securing rugs, and practicing balance exercises. Preventing a fall is often the single biggest step in preventing fractures. A question to reflect on. Have you taken the time to listen to your bones? Maybe it's a weigh-in on the scale, a slow step to test your balance, or booking a screening appointment. These small acts of awareness may be the most important gift you give to yourself. The gentle lesson. Bone prevention isn't just about avoiding disease. It's about respecting your future. One checkup, one consistent exercise, one carefully chosen therapy. Each action you take is your way of saying, I want to last, I want to stay strong, I want to keep walking this life fully. And next, in our final part, we'll bring everything together with a conclusion and a practical roadmap so you'll know exactly where to begin. Step by step, turning what you've learned into a daily path towards strength, resilience, and fullness of life. Conclusion and practical guidance. Where do you begin? After everything we've walked through together, from the silent biology of osteoporosis to bone-building foods, to movement, lifestyle, and prevention, perhaps the biggest question still echoing in your mind is this: where do I begin? The simple formula, a small key for a big journey. You don't need to change everything in one day. Just remember this short formula: nutrition plus movement, plus medical checkups, plus dropping harmful habits. Nutrition. Add a little leafy green, a spoonful of chia, or a green smoothie to your breakfast. Movement. 15-20 minutes of brisk walking each day, or a few lightweight exercises. Medical checkups. Schedule a DEXA scan if you're in the recommended age group. Dropping harmful habits. Cut back one cigarette. Reduce one glass of alcohol. Go to bed an hour earlier. Simple. Yes, but each is a brick in rebuilding the foundation of your bones. A 4-week starter roadmap. Week 1. Begin with a green smoothie in the morning. Kale and almonds blended in. Week 2. Add 10 minutes of light weights or sit to stands 2-3 times a week. Week 3. Book a doctor's appointment for a bone density test or at least a vitamin D blood check. Week 4. Drop one bad habit you know too well, maybe late-night snacking or that last glass of wine. 4 weeks. 4 small steps. 4 bricks in, building a solid house for your bones. A story for motivation. I think of Michael, a 72-year-old who came to me after a wrist fracture. He told me it was the first time he truly felt old. But instead of giving up, he started small. Oatmeal with chia for breakfast. A 15-minute walk with a cane. 3 months later, he returned and said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm standing taller, steadier, and most of all, I feel confident again." That wasn't magic. That was habit small. Daily choices. Repeated. A question for you. Are you ready to give yourself the chance to begin again with small things? If your bones could speak, would they be asking for just one more step? One nourishing meal. One doctor's visit. The quiet lesson. Bone health isn't built by one grand decision. but by a string of small, steady ones. Think of it like planting a tree. You can't force it to grow overnight, but water it each day. Give it light, tend to it gently, and one day, its shade will cover you for life. Your call to action. So today, I invite you to schedule that doctor's appointment. Block off a small slot in your day for movement. Choose one bone-friendly food to add to your grocery list tomorrow. Don't wait until the first fall to act. Begin now. Thank you for walking with me through this 30-minute journey, and I hope you see this not as just a video, but as a starting point. The first step toward writing your own story of strong bones, steady living, and the freedom to enjoy each day as you truly deserve. If you found this helpful, please leave me a comment. Hit that like button to support the channel, and don't forget to subscribe. Each week, I'll bring you practical, easy-to-apply health knowledge to help you live stronger, steadier, and healthier, one day at a time.